TIP Nord Indonesia, a member of the German TIP Nord Group, a world-leading inspection, testing and certification services provider. We are present in Indonesia since 2002, and proud to be one of the market leaders. With our most diversified expertise, TIP Nord Indonesia is your true partner at your journey to success. System Certification Services. TIP Nord Indonesia is a well-established and reliable partner for management system certification services. Our auditors have extensive knowledge, sound experience and are permanently employed. This guarantees not only impartiality and neutrality, but also means continuous supports to our clients. The benefit to the client is clear, a third-party opinion based on fact findings to improve as well as to safeguard the management systems. Product Certification Services. TIP Nord Indonesia is a government-approved certification body to perform SNI marking service. Our SNI certificate is regarded as an in-depth and precise quality check. Inspection Services. Our inspection services ranging from design approval, quality assurance or quality control works and shop inspection for oil and gas, petrochemical and energy sectors. Energy and sustainability. TIP Nord Indonesia is appointed by the government to conduct audits based on the Indonesia Sustainability Palm Oil (ISPO) requirements. Hand in hand with the regulator, we are ensuring that the legal, social and environmental aspects are justified. Food Safety Services. Food safety is more important than ever and has absolute priority for all the links in the food distribution chain. We provide food safety certification and supply inspection according to international recognized food safety codes and standards. Laboratory Services. Our laboratory is providing analytical testing and calibration services established in 2008. We are committed to pursue the global standard for quality results. Meaning, a series of assurances undertaken before a certificate of analysis is released. Our range of services are covering microbiological testing, chemical testing, nutritional fact testing, water testing, calibration services. TIP Nord Indonesia has a research and development function where methodology for testing is defined, verified and validated. This shall help the customers in providing the most effective way of analysis to obtain a mistake-free result. To empower your human resources, we provide training services, tourism certification. TIP Nord Indonesia is one of the certification bodies that have been authorized by the Ministry of Tourism to conduct certification audit for hotels all over Indonesia. This tourism certification is mandated by the government.
Good morning, all participants. Before we start this webinar, please to all the participants to change the format name to your name and underscore your company. Thank you. Good morning, all participants. With all of my regards, welcome to the Information Security Management System for the automotive industry, or we know in short name as TISAX. Let me introduce myself first. I am Aji Pramudia, who will guide this event until the end. I would like also to say thank you to our expertise speaker today, Mr. Roni Asiolan, for his time to explain us more about the TISAX itself. He is an IT auditor from TUFNORD Indonesia and the IRCA trainer for ISO 9001, ISO or IEC 20000 and 27001 standards. Today, we wish you all will get more about the requirement of TISAX standard, the assessment process, and the recommend step for you to certify TISAX. We hope that all of you be able to fill in the participants form link that noted in the chat column shared in the middle of this event, which will be used for a certificate process. Additionally, for the less interruption during presentation, committee will mute all participants. So if there are any of you, sir or madam, has any questions, please, you can write it in the chat column so that it can be recorded by the committee later. The best questions will be answered directly by Mr. Roni at Q&A session in the end of the event. So without any further ado, we just begin this event. So Mr. Roni, please your turn. It's showtime.
Okay, thank you, Aji. Good morning, everyone. I would like to thank you on behalf of TUFNORD. Welcome to this webinar of TISAX. Aji has been introduced my name. My name is Roni Hasiolan, and I am one of the IT auditor in TUFNORD Indonesia. So before I begin, I would like to share my screen first. Okay, sorry for the interruption. I'll share my screen first. Okay. I need confirmation if anyone can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you. I hope all of you are in good condition because this situation with pandemic all over the world, yeah, we cannot handle this uncertainty, which is, yeah, we have to stay healthy and see what will be incoming in the future. So here I welcome you for the information security management system for the automotive industry. In short, we can say it's TISAX. My name is Ronnie Hasiholan. So the agenda for today, from 8 to 15 minutes, we will do the introduction. And then from then we do the TISAX introduction phase 1. 9 a.m. we will do break. After that, after 15 minutes, we will do TISAX introduction for the second phase. So after 11, we will conduct question and answer. So it will be conducted by Aji and help of some of the friends. Okay, here are the content that will I deliver to you all. For the first is introduction. I think I already mentioned before with Aji that what is my assignment here in TUFNORD, and I think it might pass now. And after that we will talk about what is TISAX, what are the requirements. Like it's related a lot with information security, especially in Annex A. So any one of you, if already know about ISMS or Information Security Management System, you will be familiar with this TISAX. And then we'll discuss about connection to third parties. I believe this is supposed to be done by now. I forgot to erase, sorry. And then prototype protection, then data protection. After that, we will discuss about assessment process. How would be the process about this TISAX? So I will try to deliver how this process from beginning until we got the TISAX label. And then in the end, TISAX assessment result will be a label, which will be delivered to you as a TISAX participant and can be shared to your partner or the one or OEM that asks you to conduct this TISAX label. And then what is the recommendation for next step? And TISAX label with TUFNORD Indonesia, summary and question and answer. So okay, TISAX. I don't know if some of you already familiar with TISAX or even new for TISAX. TISAX actually short for Trusted Information Security Assessment Exchange. This is more like information security among the automotive industry. So before we go further about this TISAX, I would like you to see some of these scene from the video, which would deliver you a little bit of understanding what kind of TISAX is. So sorry, I have to reshare again because I forgot to share my sound computer.
Over. Okay, well I got whatever the hell that thing is.
Excuse me, I think this is a problem with the technical.
Dear participant, please wait a minute due to there is a technical problem in Mr. Ronnie side.
Okay. Sorry for the interruption. Aji, can you see my screen now?
Yes, I can.
Please confirm if there is a sound.
The chip building's gonna come. Guys, I got the rover. Okay, well, I got whatever the hell that thing is. What is that? A hockey puck? Hey, go on! Chip er klar. Chip-Träger klar.
Okay. So this is one of my favorite scene in Fast and Furious 6. So what would I want to tell is, here is the future. See, you can see, you notice that there is a chip, a blue chip that can control the technology of the car. That was a European car, which is, they can override the function of the car. But TISAX is actually far beyond that. What I would like to say is, nowadays, all of the automotive industry now are connected each other, and then they're willing to protect their data. One of the relation with that video is, if they are using new model of the car, they have to protect it from the competitor, for example, or for others. So in this case, they might meet one of the objective of TISAX. It's a prototype protection. And then here we can see, let's say, this connected automotive world, which is, we are now not all in the every country, but some of the country like Europe or America has their disconnected automotive world, which is like V2V, means vehicle to vehicle. They are connected each other, which is, it's more safety. So if there is a car suddenly break, your car might break as well because they are connected to each other. They communicate. And then there are GPS, of course, when we are going somewhere that don't know where to go, yeah, we are using the maps. And then there is a remote services of car, which is we can see where is the car now, or even for the protection, if we want to start the engine of the car, we have to try to contact some sort of a services, and then they will grant it the access if it's already recorded as the same as per we subscribed before. And then it's done for navigation, communication, and any other of communication in connected automotive world. So by the data that it's increased from year to year, the connected to car to the internet. So we can see here from the Amber 5 from the 2012 until 2020, there is a, yeah, you can see it's always increased year by year. So before it's only 3%, until now is 22%. The automotive is connected to the world. That's why some of us might be have the car with the Spotify or the Google Maps and others apps that already embed in the multimedia multimedia entertainment in your car devices. So, but because of that, that's why not only the car manufacturer, now every tech industry or tech company also make the car. Something like autonomous car. Yeah, maybe you might see in the road there are no pilot or driver inside. Autonomous drive, which is it can drive by using the GPS and some sort of camera 360, and then many sensor around. We can see also the news that Apple and other technology company are now as a player of this new world of the internet. We can say it's IoT. Why would we need TISAX? So most of the problem with this information, we now related this TISAX into security or information security, which is in statistic, most of cyber attacks are inside job. So we can see here, outsider feel about 40% of attack or cyber attack, and then you can see the insider, it's the other half or more than half is 60% of this cyber attack do. That's why we would need TISAX, because of we have to protect the information since it creating in our facility or information processing facility. So not only, okay, let's say you have the data center or you have the DRC and it's all equipped with best firewall and best equipment, which is hacker proof. But I don't think that will be something hacker proof, right? That's why we need to protect from inside. So the digitalization has become the most relevant business driver, which is now any manufacturer they do with robotic, they are connected each other because they need to create some sort of like a report, centralized, and let can be see the report something like, okay, how many cars are product in one day, how many parts are produced in one day, something like that. So everything now goes digital, even simpler things, which is how to paint, they do with robot. So how to they produce something, they do with all connected world, which is now it will be against the confidentiality, integrity, availability, and also safety and security of data. So what we can define now is what is the security means? How far is the security information you need, right? So we can see it here. There is a confidentiality here, integrity, availability, and safety, and most of it are inside the ISMS, Information Security Management System, which is all covered by that management system. It's ISO 27000, now is 2013 version. And then with this ISMS, we can also do the risk management and business continuity. Yeah, this is the important part, because some of the company may close by now, and how the company survive, that's why they need the business continuity. And any ISMS must contribute to risk control and also reduction risk, which is we control the risk and also reduce the frequency. And then technology as well as people ensure the system security. Therefore, ISMS should be focused on risk-based process. So the process, what is the risk if we put this data outside of our perimeter? What if we give this new model of car to some other company? What if we give this certain part of the new model to the other company to be paid? Is it secure? Do they can protect? Is it in the good hand? I don't know. That's why TISAX exists. What is TISAX? So from here we can see the car manufacturing. So as we see together, there are so many parts that might be used in developing car. For example, we need headlights. There is a seat, then windshield, tail light, if tire, and everything. And all of these parts might be came from others company. Not once, maybe 100 or thousands, because many parts of this to develop one of the car. That's why how we protect this information. This is classified. They are make this as a confidential things. For example, how I could be share this new technology in this engine of the machine of this vehicle into the other company. Okay, I need you to tune up of this new engine, because we don't have that competency. We have to share that new model engine to others company. So how we protect it? That's why we need TISAX. So in Europe, there are so many brands which is they have their own assessment. So it's look like information security assessment. They will do assessment every year, annually. So just imagine if you are provide for 50 brands, or let's say 10. So they have to run 10 assessment, different assessment every day as per the brands. For example, one brand, A brand need, okay, I need you to secure my windshield. I need you to secure my other part. So that's why they are, oh my God, why we have to do this all the times, like 10 times. That's why TISAX came. And TISAX is simplified and it's known for all of the automotive industry in Europe. That's why TISAX came. So for example, like this, when you do the prototype video or photo, like what we watched before in the video recently for Fast and Furious scene, it could be some of new model there. That's why they have to protect. For example, on the top one, they do the camouflage. So they can do the road test. So the road test is possible. The new model is not appear in the media yet, but sometime the spy shot will be there. Yeah, of course. And then in the bottom picture, you can see it's like a commercial or movie making. So which is they might use the model or the car from our partner, which is we have to protect it, which is okay. You have to protect because this is new model. Please consider to protect not the media all around and everything and all the information kept by you. So that's all some of the TISAX there. Why TISAX needed? Okay, what is TISAX? Is I already explained before. Is Trusted Information Security Assessment Exchange. Because of so many assessment, they now convert and agree with one assessment that we call TISAX. After they do the assessment, they have the labels, and the labels can be shared all over the partner. So which is if they provide for tens or 50 or hundreds of brands, which is they are now agree with this TISAX, yeah, they can only do once. That's the benefit of TISAX. So the German VDA launched this elementary assessment requirement in form of information security assessment catalog of control is offered 2,500 European car manufacturer, supplier, and etc. in 40 countries are registered for TISAX program. That's why TISAX needed, because it's well known now. It's in 40 countries and also 2,500 European car, not only car manufacturer, but the supplier as well. So what is TISAX again? The catalog consists of many controls derived from management framework of Annex A of ISO 27000. So plus control for the special automotive section. So I will explain later about this Annex ISO 27000. And in special automotive section, they need to do this prototype protection, connection to third party, and the data protection or legal compliance. So for each control, a maturity level needs to be specified and assessed. So they will need assess every single maturity level. So it will be so many control needed inside, and it will be assessed one by one. And dependent from sensitivity of data process, there are level of protection need to be assessed. They split into normal protection, high protection, and very high protection. What are the difference? Let's see. Different will explain later, and I'll continue with this. VDA is the owner of the VDA ISA that appointed as a ENX for TISAX program. So they are the operator for this TISAX program. So what you will need is registered to their website. So ENX is a legal and organizational operator for the TISAX assessment and communication network. So the network used to do the assessment will be the ENX network. That's why ENX needed. And then XAP. What is XAP? It's a TISAX accredited audit providers. TUFNOT is one of the XAP. And according to level 2 and 3 are executed by team leader or audit team leader. So you may willing to find XAP before you do the TISAX assessment. First, you know that you are required by your partner or your OEM. They ask you, okay, could you please do the TISAX label? Could you do TISAX assessment so you can get the label? And you may ask, okay, what assessment level you might need for us to do? Okay, assessment level 2 or 3. Yeah, okay, just go with level 3. Just in case they are not mentioning the assessment level, I will explain you later how to decide which level that you need. So other roles in TISAX is participant. All must be registered at ENX portal. So you can see here, there is a passive participant and there is an active participant. Passive participant usually is an OEM who require their supplier to take TISAX. So some sort of brands like Mercedes, BMW, they will require us as their supplier. Okay, please go with TISAX-LABEL. That's what we call passive participant. And then what is active participant? Is us as their supplier who do the assessment. Means who get the assessment. And then the active participant will share the result of the assessment, what we call here as a label. Then the other roles in TISAX, consultant can support the auditee and even accompany the assessment. So here in TISAX, if you are new, I think the consultant can go with you with this TISAX assessment. So it's okay that we have the consultant around us during the TISAX assessment. Here the governance triangle, each of these part has to be a contract. So you can see the TISAX participant, it could be one of you there. And then the ENX association as a governing body, they will have a contract with us. And also the provider, like us, TUFNOT, we have to have contract also with participants. So if you are willing to do the TISAX-LABEL, you can go to us, okay, ask for the inquiry, and we will deliver the quotation and the contract for TISAX. And then we also, TUFNOT, will make some sort of contract and submit it into the ENX. So all of your data will go to ENX portal through us. So they will know before after you have your own registration, and you will ask for the XAP, please, can you assess our company? Yeah, the data will submit to ENX directly from TISAX participant, and then you will also submit the data to TISAX audit provider. And after that, the TISAX audit provider will also make a contract and report submit into the ENX. That's how this governance of triangles done. According to the expectation of the customer, OEM have a special attention need to be paid to, like defining the assessment scope. Scope could be the location and groups. Some sort of, if you want to go with TISAX, how many locations will you cover with the label? So if you have like several locations, like A, B, C, D, E, and if you want to cover, you might cover all in one scope only. And then also you might need objective as well at the protection level. We will discuss this later for the objective. The scope is comprise all the process and the involved resources at the site defined below that are subject to security requirement from partner in the automotive industry. Oh, excuse me. I forgot to plug in my charge. Okay. And involved process and resource include collection of information, storage of information, and the processing of information. This is already mentioned before. It's not only like you are manufacturing of the car or the parts, also where you store the data also included. For example, you have the data center in one of those locations, you might to include it as well, because you can see here the collection of information, where you store the information and how you process the information. That's what we need into the scope. Sampling and extension of or reduction of scope and location is also available. Here the portal of ENX. You can go to portal.enx.com. Here we can also download the handbook participant, which is they are contain all the information what we might need as the participant. First, how to register, how to fill in, how much it costs. It's also there, but it's only for registration. For the XAP cost, it will be as per your XAP inquiry or your the quotation from them, which is not with the ENX. They are independent. And then here, all of the what you need for information, some sort of the VDA questionnaire that we might need for the self-assessment, we can download it for this, because there several times do the update. Please do check for like 2 weeks, 1 month. They will update, because here in pandemic situation, they also have a regulation about for the assessment level 2 or assessment level 3, which is require on-site assessment. They now agree not to do that during this pandemic, which is you can see together there on the top, current information of the SARS-CoV-2 pandemic, and they are agreed just do enough with assessment level 2. What is assessment level? Let's see in the next page, couple of next page. So the step of the TISAX, first registration, the label correspond to the assessment objective, rated means of the maturity level and non-conformity. So they will see how mature our system, our build system that already there. Then the label can be published on TISAX internet platform hosted by the ENX, and it will be visible to any designated registered TISAX participant. For example, consumer and OEM. And they also tell you how to do the share. It's on the participant handbook. Later on, you may downloaded from the TISAX portal. The major aim of TISAX are to reduce risk and to improve transparency and trust along supply chains. This is what I have mentioned before. The car manufacturing might have not only one or two suppliers, they might have more than 10, which is that supply chain have to be protected. That's why the OEM as a passive, they might need or require you, okay, please take or have the TISAX label. And so here, the supply chain by structure assessment, providing the reliable data and information, giving evidence for the effectiveness of the ISMS. Yeah, because it's most related to the information security, which is we define to be secured. That's why it's the effectiveness of the ISMS will be shown a lot in this TISAX. Here, the example of the TISAX label. So you can see here the TISAX assessment and the overall assessment result. So you can see down here, the assessment ID. You will get the assessment ID when you register to the portal of the ENX. Then what kind of assessment level you might need, here we'll mention here. And then when will be the TISAX assessment done, here will be mentioned in here. After that, here, what are the objectives that you might need? Here you can see the connection. There is information with high protection need and information with very high protection need. See, here are the labels that are mentioned here. Is the TISAX label here. All four are, excuse me, are got by this the one of the participant. Requirement, it will be goes to the information security. We already hear this a lot about the Annex A or ISO 27000 and 27000 2013, Annex 2013, version 2013. Here we can see in information security, the inside, this is according to VDA ISA 4.1.1, which is now the VDA ISA is already a 5th version or the 5th one. So I'll show you how is the questionnaire for as a supplier or service provider have hired any space at OEM. I think in this version, they're no longer available for this connection to third parties. And then the other one, prototype protection, is request associated with prototype or parts, test field marketing. And this requirement needs on-site assessment because they have to see the security perimeter and the surrounding area, the security of surrounding area. That's why the prototype protection need on-site assessment or assessment level 3. And then in data protection, here split into two. Later, GDPR, there's a global data protection in Europe. They have also this in our objective. So I'll explain later. First, I will explain here a bit about the information security. So they will have not all of these Annex A of 27 this ISO 27000. So we may see here, one is general aspect. If you can see the Annex A, you may see it's the same, almost the same. You can see here the policy, information security policy, which means we have to create or determine the information security policies. And then also, we also deal with this human resource security. Yeah, how you, let's say, when the hire process, how you ensure that the resource that you need, it's okay, which is, yeah, it's some sort of means that our employee or employee wannabe, it's fine, no criminal records and everything. That will be in human resources security. And then also they will talk about asset management. So the asset management will, you have loading like how the machine in production area and the data, the place you store, like a data center, how you manage your server, you have to include in asset management. And then the access control. Access control is one of the logically or physically access. For example, what I mean with logic is how you access your information. For example, in server, you have the Active Directory to make the security. Only certain person can access this file or that files. For the basic, how someone can access to the place you store the information, how the place you store, you process the information. That's the access control look like. And then the cryptography, sometimes for vice versa, it could be encrypted, which is only opened by the defined recipient, which is not all can open. That's what we would need for this. And the other one is physical and environmental security. What will be need in TISAX? You know, how we see production line, how everyone can just, okay, please don't how to control if there's a guest coming, there is a from our within company coming, okay, please need it. So they have some sort of CCTV in place, or they have like fingerprint access door. And then nowadays they usually use, because of this pandemic situation, COVID-19, they use like a facial recognition access door, which is recognize your, that are some of the physical and environment security. And the other one, operation also needed. and during the operation, how you protect everything since you're collecting the information, and then how to process it, how to send it to other. That is the operation part. And then in communication security, this is also already mentioned. We might need encryption or VPN to others company, which might save our data or information. And then the communication between within the companies itself, maybe with our groups, also could be within the employees in one place, how to communicate each other. You might deal with that policies like how to communicate from the company to other company between employees. Is it using the email or like meeting or any other sort of communication? And then in 14, there is a system acquisition, development, and maintenance that you might protect as well. So when you develop the system, and from you might hear about SDLC, which is all the life cycle of software development might be covered as well. So some of the company has the software in place, which is how to protect the development phase from the beginning until they use in the users, and also how to maintain everything in software that you have to process the information. And then we also checking about the supplier relationship. So this is also very critical part, which is supplier that might supply us with anything. We have to deal with them, like some sort of the non-disclosure agreement or contract that mention that they cannot pass our information without our permission or something like that. So it will be goes to the supplier relationship. And then in 16, information security incident management. This is if we have the incident in our company related to information security, something like data breach, or even your firewall is down, or there is a malware, or there is a attack from virus, we have to record and make a policy how to explain how, if there is an incident happen, how we react to that incident. That's needed in this TISAX also. And then 17 is about the business continuity management. This BCM is also common. If you know, the 22301 is business continuity management system, because 27,000 or ISMS is also included this in one of the annexes. That's why we need comply to this business continuity management as well. So how we can continue to manage our business, the production even can run after any disruption. Yeah, like this. Here we have now pandemic all over the world. How could be the production of this car or parts can still go on even there is a disruption. So, and the other part is compliance. We can say this is compliance to legal or local law. So if there is a compliance in your area, for example, us in Indonesia, we have the informatic ministry that rule a law related to information security, and now they are still ongoing for the data protection, personal data protection, or PDP. So if in your area also has some sort of the compliance into the law related into information security, you might need to comply to that as well. This is the additional catalog and chapter. In connection to third party, they might need human resource security, and then access control, I already explained, physical environment security, and communication security. Here we have the other one is prototype protection. Here they will check the physical and environmental security, then organization requirement. Excuse me. Excuse me. I need water for a while. Yeah. So here in handling in how we protect, they might the place or see or just in case it's a car protect how so one is only relevant in case our is in processor role for all.
Technical problem. Please.
Anyone can hear me now? Hello. Anyone can hear my voice?
Yes, we can. Sorry, everyone. Please wait a minute. We are now trying to solve the problem of connection. Please wait a second. Sorry. Sorry.
Okay, test. Anyone can?
Yes, we can. Faroni, please continue.
Okay,
We
sorry
can,
for the
Pak Roni,
interruption.
please
Yeah,
continue.
happen. It might happen if the interruption. Yeah, it might happen. Sorry for the interruption. Okay, it might happen. Interruption. Yeah, sorry for the interruption. Yeah, sorry for the interruption. Yeah, it interruption. Yeah,
Sorry, everyone. Together with we are waiting for Paroni to solve the problem. Can we reminder to also please change your format name to this webinar to, and also if you have any question due to the limited time for this webinar, we would like you to write it down to the chat column and we will convey it to Paroni and he will enter the chat column and answer it in the Q&A session later in the end of the event. Thank you.
so how about now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
But is there any feedback voice?
No, it's okay. It's good.
Okay, so it's only okay. What would be next is okay. So next assessment process. Okay, process. Next next is not right.
Dear all participants, due to the trouble in our site in the so please to all participants to enjoy your coffee and your breakfast if so, and we will continue in the next 10 minutes or in 15 past 9. Thank you very much. Minutes 15 past 9. I'm sorry for the interruption. While enjoy your coffee, I will accompany you with the music background now. Hello everyone. To all participants, hope you are now already have a good coffee break. And now we are planning to continue the presentation. So to you in the chat column. So Mr. Ronnie, are you already okay to continue?
Hi, Aji. Thank you. Can you hear me clearly now?
Yes, I can clearly hear you.
But my sound is still repeat or not?
No, I think no.
Okay. Okay, so I will proceed. Thank you, Aji. Okay, everyone. How was your coffee break? I hope. Okay. Everyone, how was your start? Everyone, how was? Okay, let me share my screen now. We proceed with this assessment process overview. What will be the assessment process? Okay, the assessment process overview. Let's see how is the assessment going. First, we as the auditee gets familiar with TISAX requirement. What is TISAX requirement? What TISAX need? That we have to get familiar with. And then the auditee or you as an auditee, you have to define the scope and the objectives. What kind of scope that we need? What is the boundary? When we will start and when we will stop? That's the scope. And also the objective. What kind of objective that might need by our OEM? We have to see and define and also need that in registration. After that, we do the self-assessment or assessment level 1. So here, what we do is download it from the ENX portal. From there, we can see what is the questionnaire in there. Maybe, for example, I will show you later what kind of questionnaire that we'll need for the self-assessment. And then the auditee select the XAP or TISAX audit provider, and TUFNOT might be the best choice for you. And we will prepare for the assessment for you. Then define the date, schedule, and when the latest date you might need this label. After that, first come first is kickoff meeting. So in kickoff meeting, we will, as an XIP, will just show you how will be this audit delivered, how will be this audit conducted. So we will explain, and then we will also must be agreed first when will be the next part of after kickoff meeting, when will be the on-site assessment. There will be discussed during the kickoff meeting. So in this phase, we can just do in online or like this remote session. It just is fine. It's only like about 30 minutes. We will ask you where is the location, what is the scope, what will be the objective that will be in initial assessment. After that, we will produce the initial assessment preliminary report. Here, if you see orange is one and blue will be the TUFNOT
Yes.
I hope it's still clear.
Where my
Okay, thank you.
but some participant is breaking.
Okay, let me check again. So sorry for this.
Hello everyone. How about my voice? Can you hear my voice clearly? Webinar like this, so we don't want to this happen. So please wait a second. Thank you.
Hello everyone, sorry for this inconvenience. Recently I just know that there is an update on Zoom, so I just update my apps, Zoom apps. Hopefully it can be fixed, this thing. Okay. So we will proceed to the next one. Okay, and then after this kickoff meeting done and do the initial assessment, we will do the initial assessment preliminary report. Here that I just explained before, the blue part, it will be the TUFNOT part, and the orange one, it will be the auditee or the your parts. So after that, after initial report, the initial assessment will check if there is a non-conformity. If there is, you have to finish that non-conformity first and then prepare for the corrective action plan. And after that corrective action plan assessment, we will check the final assessment report. If the corrective action plan okay, in between the temporary label, it's possible to give to the participant. And then if all the corrective action is done, the follow-up assessment might need it if we have like a major NC or major non-conformity. And we will do the follow-up assessment report. After the follow-up assessment report, the result, we'll check that the result is confirmed and the ENX will have the TISAX label delivered to you. That's the process overview of the assessment of TISAX. Hopefully you can understand which part of the auditee part, which part is our part. So this is the overview how we can do the assessment of this TISAX. And this TISAX will do for 3 years, which is after 3 years, we have to renew our label. So it's not like another management system or other management system, which is can have to do annual assessment, but this is after 3 years, we can do another assessment. So it's more easy for us to do it. So what is the scope? This is a standard scope, which is strongly recommended by the ENX to take. So what is the standard scope? Is a basic for TISAX assessment, which is the minimum one for we do the TISAX, we have to apply this TISAX assessment scope, which is it's predefined. When we register, it's predefined. We already predefined have this scope, the standard one. So it will be covering all the process, involve resources, for example, the work equipment, IT system, employee, like data center, DRC, and everything that store our information, and the processing facility of the information. So could be the office side, development or production that already discussed before in ISO 27000 annexes that are subject to security requirement from automotive partner or consumer. You can see here the yellow one, the standard scope is the common one, but it's possible to extend the scope or narrow the scope. Okay, for why we would need the extend scope? The custom scope or extended scope is it's either narrow or extended, which is if we have a custom scope, the choice on only two. It could be narrow one or the extended one. So narrow scope is used just in case your infrastructure is shared or if assessment results are urgently needed. The XAP reduces the amount of depth of assessment, which is our assessment is only not too deep and not thoroughly to this assessment. But the disadvantage of this narrow scope, TISAX label will not available, which is we cannot get the label of TISAX. That's the narrow scope. And the extended scope can be like this. If we do the TISAX together with other system management audit or assessment, it's possible. So that's why we have this extended scope. So extended scope might be used in case TISAX assessment are applied for internal process, which is not only the TISAX, but you need your company regulation to be audit. That's the extended scope that do. So for internal process or outside the automotive sector, see here, a internal process, which means it's our regulation only, or it's not the automotive sector. So that's what means by the extended scope. So the XSP undertakes more checks than the standard scope. Because it's extended, your standard scope is there, and means after the audit or the assessment, you still have the TISAX standard label. So here, how we define the assessment scope. First, as if all location in the future assessment, which is, do we have any plan for the future? Maybe we have another new plan. I mean the production plan. So, okay, in the future 2021, we might have a new production line, which is in another area. So we might need include that also in our scope. First step, assessment for more than one location. The question is the assessment apply for one or more location? Yeah, if you have more than one location, please include all the location inside the assessment scope. And then, do you have sufficient time at all for the all location? Yeah. Do we have sufficient time for all location to implement this TISAX? And then the other question is it there is a shared central ISMS? See, if we have more than one location and we have the same system apply, that's good. Because it can be like share center ISMS, which is we can done the multi-site things. And then is it share same assessment objective? Sometimes if we have like several locations, maybe one production line is only part and the other one is the vehicle itself, which is one whole car. It might have different scope. That's why the question will be, is it share the same assessment objective? Because the objective will be different if we produce or manufacture only one part and one big car or vehicle. So after that, we can go registered with multi-site or multi-location. So that's how we define the scope. We have to ask ourselves first, do we have plan for the future? Is there any other new developing plan or location? Like, for example, okay, in next, our DRC will be located in this place. That's what we need to put in the scope. Okay, next, in Q3, we will have new production line and another painting line. Yeah, that's how we can define the scope. Okay, the TISAX assessment scope describe the scope of the information security assessment, simplified Every part of auditee companies that handle confidential information of OEM is part of assessment scope. So any company who handle the crucial or critical data, it will be inside the assessment scope. Auditee can consider it as a major element of the auditor provider's task description. It dictates what the audit provider need to assess. So the scope will let us know as an assessor when we have to start and where we have to stop, which is we will not go beyond the scope and we will not go less than the scope. That's why the assessment scope have to be described. The assessment scope is important for two reasons. First, an assessment result will only fulfill the OEM requirement if the respective assessment scope cover all part of the auditee's company that handle partner information. So if you are required by the company, okay, your partner means, okay, please go with the assessment TISAX. Please have the TISAX label. And we have to ask them first which level that we have to go with. Okay, you just need assessment level 2, that's enough. Okay, we can put that as assessment level 2. That's why we only fulfill the OEM requirement. So if the OEM or your partner not required, it's okay, because sometimes in the future there might another company that as our partner ask these TISAX things. And a precisely defined assessment scope is an essential prerequisite for meaningful cost calculation by XAP or TISAX accredited audit provider, which means us as a TUFNORD, as an providers, we need you to define the scope, and that's how we can produce the calculation for the quotation to deliver to you. What are the objectives of the TISAX assessment? Nowadays, they have 8. So here, the first one is information with high protection level. This is a default one, the standard one. And the second one is information with very high protection level. Number 3 is data protection according to GDPR. And the fourth one is data special with special category of personnel. This is special categories. So in the third one, we can see it's based on standard GDPR. But if you are storing the special category of GDPR, for example, you store the data of health or religion, that's included in special for GDPR, you consider to take the assessment objective for the fourth one. And the other one is 5, the protection of prototype part and components. This one, if we are manufacturing part, components, or any part from our partner, we have to take or consider this assessment objective. So while in here, the prototype part, the physical security and surrounding, it will be part of the assessment. And then number 6, the protection of prototype vehicles. This one also, if you handling the prototype vehicle from, maybe you are like multimedia company or advertising company like me as your partner, okay, please, I want to make an advertisement for my new car, please handle with care. But first, you have to have the TISAX label. That's what we would need for protection of prototype vehicles. This one go beyond, like you have the secure garage when you have to store your partner car, the new model one, and even your workshop have to be secure. That's why the on-site assessment needed in this protection of prototype vehicles. And then if we pass the assessment in protection of prototype vehicle, your label will have to. So you also will get the protection of prototype parts and component as it's already included inside. So the parts and component is included in prototypes of vehicles. The next one, handling of test vehicles. This is also the same. If we are the company who will test any new models, new part, they will require us to do the assessment. For example, we have to do the camouflage. Yeah, the paint will be not the same. Like I already mentioned before, you see there's a new car from one of the brand, and it's covered by by the sticker, which is in the handling of test vehicle. So we have to secure, but the physical security environment or surrounding of the area when we test, it's not necessary will be part of the assessment. The next one, number 8, protection of prototypes during event and film or photo shooting. This is also the same. This is also like if we are the partner of the OEM as a advertising company, we have to handling this with care. This new model of car or new parts. This is what considered to take as an objective of your company for TISAX assessment, protection of prototypes during event and film or photo setting. And what is the assessment level? So assessment level split into 3, described into 3. First is the assessment level 1. Excuse me. Assessment level 1 or self-assessment or declaration of the auditee is you can do by yourself. I mean, if you are the company who are required by the OEM, okay, please do the assessment level 1. What you might need to do is please download first the VDA questionnaire. Now it's 5.1 version, just you can see in the portal. And here, the TISAX label will not deliver to you because it's only your part to do. This means it's internally done by you, and it will not produce any TISAX label. In assessment level 2, it is a plausibility check of self-declaration. So what you have done in first assessment level, it will be checked by us as the XAP or TISAX audit, TISAX accredited provider. So what you have done with your company, what are the questionnaire inside, we will check everything until the evidence, and it can be done remotely here in protection level 2. So, but assessment level 2 can be done on site or must be done on site if it's about protecting the prototype's vehicle. So we have to come to your site or your place, your location, because that's the necessary of the assessment level 2 for the prototype things. And the other one, assessment level 3, it's a full assessment on site. After you done the plausibility check of self-declaration, this is usually done before, after the kickoff meeting. Assessment level 2, it will be agreed first when will be the assessment level 2 or the possibility check. And then in kickoff meeting also agreed when we will done the assessment level 3. It will be agreed each other between you as an auditee and us as an XIP. So what we'll done, we will check thoroughly every evidence you have, and we will check also your security perimeter, any evidence, observation, interview, and demonstration of all those. We will check thoroughly in your site. That's why the protection level will be high, very high protection. And so what will be the assessment objective? Connect to the assessment level. So here, this connection. So if you have the first one, information with high protection level, you might take assessment level 2. You can see here, if it with very high protection level, you might need assessment level 3, which means it will be need on-site assessment. And then the next one for the data protection according to the GDPR. Hold on. Okay. Sorry. So data protection according to the GDPR, here will be assessment level 2 is enough. So we'll only checking via remote is enough. And then for the special one, like I said before, if the GDPR or personal data will contain like information with special information, for example, the religion and the health data, it will need the assessment level 3 or on-site will be necessary. And for the prototypes, because it's a very high one, like I said before, it's recommend to you to take the assessment level 3. So protection of prototype part and component, vehicle, handling of test vehicle, and the other one, the last one is protection of prototype during event, film, and photo shooting. It may require assessment level 3. So each TISAX assessment consists of 3 assessment types. The first one will be the initial assessment, and then the second one will be corrective action plan assessment. Here we already see the overview. And the third one is follow-up assessment. So there are 3 types of assessment. Both 2 and 3 may take place and even several times, because corrective action plan sometimes it not done by only once. So we will keep communicate each other from XIP, means TUFNORD, and you as an auditee. It could be there is a non-conformity arise. There are maybe 5 or 6. If it's major one, we will need the follow-up assessment. So it may take some times, but the maximum time period of 9 months only, which is all from the kickoff until finish. The maximum will be 9 months only. So if we exceeding of 9-month period, we require to do another initial assessment, which means if it's exceed from 9 months, we will have to do all over again. Start from the initial assessment. Oh, okay, I think we passed this one already. Okay, what would be the result look like? So the result and maturity levels are applied to rate the quality of the ISMS processes via which the control of the VDA ISA are fulfilled by the auditee. So we will check the maturity level, how mature that the system that built in your company. It will be read one by one, each control, each clauses will be checking. So it is similar to generic CMMI, capability maturity model integration. Let's see the maturity level later. I will explain. And the VDA ISA self-assessment distinguishes between 6 maturity levels. So there are 6 maturity levels from 0 to 5. So each will be defined something. So how far we are mature in our system or information security system in your place. So beside the definition, requirements are described in the form of proposal, facing best or good practice. They are unique for each question. So you may see later in VDA questionnaire, for consolidated view of the maturity level, the following simplified one-sentence summary shall be applied. Here are the maturity level. The first one is level 0 or incomplete. So the implementation of requirement is incomplete or even don't exist, which is the process is not yet done. So if one of the clauses, for example, human security, human resources security, you are not do anything like from recruitment phase, you're not doing checking background and anything which is not going to happen. That means the level of your control in human resources security, it's 0. So, and the second one, level 1, is perform. So the requirement necessary for respective information protection need are performed. So a process is in place. So any process is in place, which is something like the same example, the human resource security, they are doing what the policy written. So for example, they do the background checking, but it's not complete, which is they have no documentation regarding the checking, the background checking. That's why it's only perform level. So if you have something to do like information security, you have to have the evidence. If not, you only in level perform stage. And the second one, the third one, I mean, is level 2, it's managed. So the process for achieving the objective is managed, it's documented, and it's available. So what we have done regarding the information security, it's done already, but it's also documented. It's well documented. That's what it means in managed. The third one is established. So the process for achieving the objective is established. The processes are linked in order to show existing dependencies, and the documentation is up to date and maintained. So what the difference is, the second one, the managed one, the established means we always update if there is any changes. That's what means in level 3. So it's not only done, the process, but it's documented and also it's maintained and updated. So the document will be updated until the recent year, something like that. And the next one is predictable. It's level 4. This is requirement from level 3, and in addition, results are measured. We know each other, maybe what we call it KPI. So they have the KPI in place, key performance, making the process predictable, which is they will know what will be the next. That's the predictable. So it's the level 3 in addition with the result are measured.
That's the predictable. And number 5, the last one, level 5, is optimizing. This is the requirement from level 4, the predictable. Moreover, the additional resource, personnel, finances are being implemented in optimizing manner. The process is subject to continuous improvement. By means, we do everything, we have the document, and then we maintain everything, and also we continuously improve, which is if there is a new way, more efficient, more effective, it could be you are in level 5. So in next slide, I will explain how we can fill the questionnaire of the PDA. Which level we have to fill: incomplete, perform, manage, establish, or others. So let's see in here. Here the example of self-assessment by the auditee. This is the new version. This is 5.1. I will show you the Excel sheet. After this, here's the, for example, so when we want to have the TISAX assessment done, the first one we have to fill this by ourselves, which is our company have to see how mature our system is now. So you can see here, this is the ISA classification. So this is the number of the, okay, the number of the control. This is ISA new. So this is the chapter 1.6, and then this is the control. Actually, you can see the control reference to ISO 27000 is related to Annex 16.1.1 and until Annex 16.1.7. You can see, if you are familiar with information security management system, you can see in Annex we also do this the same. And here in this column, there is a requirement must and the requirement should. Here, both of these, this is our requirement for all protection level. So, for example, to what extent are information security event happen? What will we have to have in place? For example, requirement must, a definition of information security event or vulnerability exists. So we determine what is the definition of information security event. A procedure for reporting and recording considered is reaction to information security event. What will we do if there is an event about information security? And then there is a reporting form and reporting channel, how we reporting to top management, to management, and processing station, feedback procedure, and etc. Here, the information security event and vulnerabilities are analyzed. So we have to analyze what could be the root cause of the event. Because event is not yet incidents, but even it might possibly turn into incidents if we not notice or we not analyze. For example, if we firewall, there is an attack or threat for one of the IP address in this week continuously from since Monday until Friday. And this IP address, the same IP address, tried to breach our firewall. That's what we have to analyze. What would be the action to counter these things? So that's That's the analyze of the problem management. And then you can see here, there is a protection level high. Here, the next column. And the other one is very high. That's why it's only none. In here, in high protection, there's a requirement resulting from business relation. For example, obligation of reporting to customer are determined and implemented, which is if there is an information or even ongoing, we have to record and consider. Look like, let me share you this assessment look like in the Excel sheet. It's a big difference with the previous version 4.1. Let me stop share first. Screen 2. Hold on. Wait a second. I have to open first the Excel. Okay. This is questionnaire VDA ISA 502. Sorry, not for 5.1, but 502. Anyone can see here? Everyone?
Yes, we can.
Okay, in this case, yeah. Let me try to zoom it out. Okay, first one is there is a welcome message. What will be the definition, the cover, and the maturity level is. So the maturity level minimum or target is 3 in here. You can see the maturity level. So ISA provide assessment of implementation by means of a 6 level we just discussed before. It's from until optimizing, but they only need or targeted level 3 or established. That's enough. And then you can see here, there is some of the objective. There's a data protection, prototype protection. You can have all in this questionnaire. So in here, this maturity level, what is mean of each maturity level, I already delivered. I already explained what is maturity level 0, incomplete, perform, manage. And then you can see everything in here. See here, even they have glossary. What is this network service, IT services? What is a prototype means? What is security zones? So they are defining what might need in your assessment. So here, this one is this, you can see here, this information security. So the objective, if we chose the information security, you can see here, for example, let's see the first one. Yeah, here. This one, first, information security policy and organization, information security policy. So before the previous TISAX questionnaire, it's in 05.1. In new form, it's 1.1.1. So it's different. So if I fill this maturity level into 1, it will be turned into red, which is it's not achieve the target. Like what I explained before, minimum level 3. So that's why For example, I put number 2 here. See, it's yellow, means it's still warning, which is we are not achieved the target yet. And that's why we have to fulfill what we have in must and what we have in should. Also, if there is an additional requirement, we have to fulfill with that. And if we do with very high protection needs, we also comply with what required there here. Can see? So if I put this maturity level 3, yeah, green means go. You can go ahead with assessment questionnaire. You can check here some of them. It's related to ISO 27000 annexes A, and the relation is in here, over here. See what is the, you can see CIA in annexes in ISO 27000, and you can see here reference to other standard. You can see here ISO 27000 Annex 615. So if your company already done with 27000, it will be a good advantage because you are done until the established phase. And what would you need is more in like do another level, like establish, optimizing. It could be optimizing. That will be very good. So for prototype protection, they have different also. The question here, the data protection also have different questionnaire. If you can see here, if you refer to the previous questionnaire, if you have the 4 point something, you can see this reference. So this is referred to 24.1 in the previous one, and the new one is in 9.1. They make a better structure now. So that is the PDA assessment questionnaire. And then the result will be like this. This is a spider web. And you may see here, result with cutback target like this, 2.5, which means we are not enough to do the TISAX assessment. I mean, to go ahead with the assessment. Here, I hope you guys all see, means we are okay to go with this assessment. If we are inside, means our level of maturity is still on 0 until 3 or beyond that, 2 maybe. So which means we have to do more improvement in our system. So that's enough for this one. I'll share it again. Okay. So that's all for this. Here, this information security is a catalog of chapter and controls. There are 3: information security, prototype protection, data protection. Here, the maturity level. So if it's 2 or under 3, it will be like this, warning, which is we are not yet sufficient to do the TISAX assessment. So please consider, if you are just still now 2, you might change something, or you might need the procedure in place. You might maintain the document or you have to keep the document. If you don't have the document, please document everything you done. That's how you can achieve the maturity level. So this is what I just explained before. Here you can see if you are in here in green area, you are ready for TISAX assessment. And then if you are here inside the green area, or let's say it's red, means it's not sufficient for TISAX label. So please consider when you have do the self-assessment, check what part that we are less. For example, that human resource security, we don't have any access door to go to the information processing facility. Okay, so we have to invest in there so we can increase our maturity level. That's why. And for example, if in incident management that we already documented, so which means you are in one level. That's why we have to record it, maintain it, and analyze. That's how we increase the level of maturity. Okay, so the next one will be the non-conformity finding. What are the findings in which mean non-conformity to one or more requirements of a control that creates doubt about the overall effectiveness of the ISMS or leads to a significant information security risk. So one or more requirement is not fulfilled, that's you have the major non-conformity, or the auditor doubt that this information security management system can run sufficiently, that could be lead to major non-conformity. What is the next one? Is minor non-conformity, is isolated or singular error. So if we have the procedure, if we have the report, but we are not maintaining it, could be lead as a minor non-conformity, which is sometimes it can lead like inconsistency of us to do the system management. For example, we have the procedure in place, we done in January, but we are not doing it on February and the next March, and we are doing again in September. That's the inconsistency. That's why it can be lead as a minor non-conformity. So the next one will be observation or irregularity, which is can be classified as non-conformity because there is no current risk concerning the requirement or own standard, but has to be further investigated to evaluate the possibility of analyzing information security risk in the future. So if you have observation, which means it's not enough proof or evidence to show that this control or the procedure in place could be run well, and we might need more evidences. That's why it can goes to the observation. So observation can lead a risk in the future, which is if we not taking care of this event or this observation, it might escalate to minor non-conformity. That's the classification of observation. The other one, the last one, is improvement. This is the irregularity that cannot be grouped into one of the classes above and process no threat to information security, but still offer room for improvement. So it will be in form of suggestion because it will not make any risk but it can be an improvement for your system. It good to classify it as an improvement. That's are the classification of finding in this TISAX. So what we'll have to do in case we have the major non-conformity? The immediate action and correction and also corrective action plan required, which means we have to do as soon as possible, which is we have to directly do the action, not only action plan, which is, okay, we don't have the access door, we have to make the inquiry. No, it's not accepted. So we have to do directly and install the control in place, that just in case we have this major non-conformity. If we have this major non-conformity open, the TISAX label will not possible, which is we cannot get the label. And then the corrective action plan needs to be executed. So which means what I told you before, if you in case major, you have to do directly, but in here in non-conformity minor, you can just give us the plan. Okay, the next year we would like to be this control, it needs to be successfully finalized, and temporary TISAX label is possible. So this temporary one is equivalent with this, the real one. I mean, if we, in case you might need it fast, but the non-conformity is still open, but it's minor, your partner will accept this temporary observation. We don't need action immediately, but in the future, it's okay. So then the improvement is only the recommendation. So what recommendation will make your system make even better than now? Is this the overall result? So are tolerable as long as no safety risk arise. And the second one, deviation of actual maturity level to the targeted maturity level of more than 10% will classify it as minor non-conformity. So if it's more than 10%, it will classify it as a minor non-conformity. And if as major non-conformity, regardless whether there is a risk or not. Yeah, so if your maturity level is below more than 30%, it will rise the major one. And then several minor non-conformity that indicate a systematic problem of the ISMS are classified as a major non-conformity. So if you got a same NC all over the division or subunit, for example, the HR, you have the same problem for documentation, and in the other area, production, also there is no documentation, and the other place again, legal and any other place found that the same case happened, it could be a systematic one, which is major non-conformity might arise. And then major non-conformity in which the threat is eliminated by appropriate compensatory measure as classified as minor non-conformity. So if you have major non-conformity and already eliminated by appropriate control or measure, and it's approved by the auditor or the assessor, it will decrease into the minor one or minor non-conformity. So next, okay, I think this is a wrap up. So as one of these TISAX accredited provider, we are TUFNOT. You can ask TUFNOT as one of our your partner for do the TISAX assessment. We has been approved by German accredited body, DAX, and many other country. Maybe in your area also, in Philippines, Malaysia, Indonesia, and any other place. And we have a proven expertise that also granted by the ENX as one of the XAP. So consider you might need this label or TISAX assessment. You may contact us through our sales channel in the end of this webinar. Okay, I believe that's all of my material. And let's now we begin for this question and answer.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ronnie, for your presentation and information that you shared to us. I hope all the participants can hear me clearly now. Now we are coming to the Q&A session. Due to the limited time we get, the committee has selected some questions to be shown in this session. If we still get enough time after all the selected questions are answered, we will read additional questions for you guys. So let's go to the first question. So the first question is coming from Mr. Izwan from Saime Darby. So for the implementing this TISAX, is it ISO 27001 lead implementer course is sufficient, or we shall need also to go for ISO 27001 lead auditor course? Just now saw some description mentioned auditor. So Mr. Ronnie, please. Mr. Ronnie, please unmute your.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the question. So is the lead implementer of ISO 27000 needed if we want to do this? Means we are as the auditee or the auditor?
For the implementing this TISAX, the question.
Oh, implementing the TISAX.
Yeah.
Actually, because most of these TISAX material is in this ISO 27000 version 2013, which means if you have like lead implementer of ISO 27000 and even have the IRCA of the lead auditor, I think that might be sufficient enough to go with. But it's not required that you go or certified with this ISO. It's only come handy if you have it. So if you have ISO 27000 in place, or you are as a person registered or certified as an ISO lead auditor or lead implementer, that's more than enough. Because it's not required that you are certified, but it will be enough and come as your benefit, since 52 control from Annexes A for INEX ISO 27000 came from for this TISAX. That's why it's good if you have that ISO lead implementer, and it's sufficient enough for you to go with that. I think that's all. I hope it can answer the question.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ronnie. Hope Mr. Izwan, it can answer your question regarding the implementer course, lead implementer course, or also need the lead auditor course. Okay, we can go to the next question. The next question is from H. Chong. What is the prerequisite to get TISAX certification? Does client need to show evidence that they are in automotive OEM supply chain?
Okay, that's all.
Yes, that's all for now.
Okay, so the prerequisite of the TISAX, actually, what would you need to deliver to us as a XAP? Actually, only the TISAX excerpt, means the ID and the objective ID and your complete like address, name, location, scope, and everything. That's the prerequisite for you to register to the ENX portal. But for the TISAX itself, the prerequisite, the ISO 27000 is not the prerequisite. So if you have implemented in your company, that will be good. But if you're not, that will be not a major or non-conformity. It's only reference to do this TISAX assessment. That's actually the prerequisite. So we don't need any prerequisite for this TISAX. As long as you are implementing, that will be a good benefit, but it's not requirement. So that's the answer, sir. So if you are in the supply chains, you are doing the operation things, yeah, that will become handy when we fill the PDA questionnaire like I just shown before. It will make easier for you and your company to go with this TISAX. So if the auditee asks you, okay, can I go to TISAX? What is the prerequisite? There is no prerequisite. As long as you are registered to the ENX portal, for example, you will mention your name, your company name, address, location. You have to have the scope, define the scope, and you have to define the objective. I already explained before. And then register. As long as you have the TISAX excerpt, because if it's approved in ENX portal, you will get TISAX approval or TISAX excerpt. You can bring that document to search your XAP. TUFNET can much helping with that. We will help you to do this TISAX assessment. I think that's the answer. Hopefully can answer the question.
Okay, that's Mr. Y.H. Chong. I hope it can answer your question. Please confirm.
Yeah, thank you, Pak. Yeah,
Okay.
understand. Yeah.
Thank you. So we will going to the next question. The next question is coming from Mr. Izwan from Simon Darby again. So Mr. Ronnie, if let's say the organization choose to implement the ISMS, which means the ISO 27001, but without considering to go for the ISO 27001 certification, so what would be your opinion?
Okay, so if I'm not wrong,
Please,
this is
Ronnie,
showing the. Can you copy and paste to chat again, please? The question, please.
Okay.
Just copy and
I
paste
will
so I can read
do
all
it.
the question together.
That's
Is it already? Aji?
Alrighty. Yeah, I have sent it to you.
Oh yeah, okay. So here the question is, I have another question. If let's say the organization choose to implement the ISMS, I mean the ISO 27000, but without considering to go for the ISO 27 certification. So what would be your opinion? Yeah, as I explained before regarding the prerequisite, it's not a mandatory prerequisite for ISO 27000 certification, which means even without certification, you may still can go with this TISAX assessment. It's only more handy and good in maturity level if you have implemented and certified. But if you only implement it, it's okay. It will be good things to have. So it will help a lot to do this TISAX assessment. So you don't need to have the certified. And the other one is Annex 16.1. What makes different from statement of applicability for ISO 27000, right? Okay, let me share it again. Share screen. Okay. So here, for example, in information security, Annex 16.1. Where's the reference? Or this one? Yeah, this one. Okay, so when in Annex 16, what requirement listed in Annex, it might be have in this two. Okay, is it clear now? Because my voice seems like a robot. Is it clear, Aji?
No.
Okay.
Is it clear in my?
Oh. Okay, I will to. Okay, I will try to answer again. So if there is an Annex 16.1, you may see the relation in this phase. So the requirement, must, should, and the high protection need, it might be another extra. So what will you see here only in information security and must, but additionally as automotive industry, it will be like here in protection, it will be additional for the automotive. So they will add more. Will be add more for TISAX. So that's the difference. So if Annex 16 talk about, okay, let's check this Annex 16. Hold a second. Yeah, I'm not to remember all these annexes. Okay, Annex 16 talk about oh yeah, it's talking about information security incident management. So if you have Annex 16 in place, there are several annexes or sub-annexes below. So if you can read this, like the responsibility and procedures, if they are not exist in TISAX, which means it's not one-to-one related, which is, yeah, just what we need is only just fill in what the requirement in this VDA. If it's not required, we may pass or not fulfill anything if it's not mentioned. Just in case in Annex, you have like 7 control and you have to fill it all. But in this VDA, they have only 5. It's okay. So you follow the VDA one. That's the, I hope that can be answer your question. Okay, Aji.
Okay. Hope the question is answered fully. And we can go to the next question if you would like, Mr. Roni. It is coming from Mailim from Inocom Corp SDN. The question is, if let's say we are using the same scope, which we already identified and stated as in the other management system, like UMS, EMS, and etc., is it accepted or still need to that's the question. The first question is, in order to get TISAX certification, do we need to have the ISO 27001 certification or just need to implement the ISO 27001? That's the question.
Yeah, it's already answered.
Okay.
It's already answered.
Okay, we go next to the Mr. Iswan. The next question is coming from Mr. Iswan again. EMS or etc. Is it accepted or still need to be specific?
Okay, can you repeat as because I cannot see which one is that?
So, Mr. Roni, that's the question. Column.
Okay, I will read in the column chat. Okay, this is for the scope. Yeah. Okay, for the scope, if let's say we are using the same scope which we already identified and stated as in other management system, for example, QMS or EMS, it's okay as long as what you need or the main process is included that required by your OEM. For example, the QMS is talking about your part assembly or the quality of your production of parts or something. It can be your scope, which means you don't need to change the scope as long as it's already covered what it's when where is your information located and then how to process your information, and the information processing facility is already included inside. For example, you are processing the data inside the data center itself or the server room. So if it's covered the information security in there, means you can go ahead with that scope. But if not, you have to change it. You have to change the scope to comply with what needed by your OEM or who requests the TISAX to be followed. For example, okay, I need your production, not all production, but only this like a GPS production, because you have several production unit, only the GPS production, because you are supplied to our car or our brand, please do that scope. So which means if you have covered your QMS for all, so which means you have to just narrow the all to the GPS only. That's how to define the scope if you have already another management system in place. Okay.
Okay. Hope that's answer again your question, Mr. Iswan. So we can testing of vehicle. Is this applicable for the organization which doing the R&D, which doing the okay now?
Okay, so sorry because I don't know, the voice of Aji is not quite clear. I have the same problem like before. Let me try to just leave first and I will come in again because it's not too clear.
Okay, the problem is coming again, so please wait a second again. Mr. Ronnie is trying to solve it, and I will also.
Okay, so sorry. It seems that it happened again. My sound is repeated again and all over again. I hope now it's clear, so we can continue the question. Aji, can you lead the question, please? Aji. Oh, okay. Thank you, Eva.
Due to the internet problem, maybe I can use my computer. But Ronnie, could you help to wait
Okay.
a bit moment, please?
Okay, thank you. So maybe meanwhile, I will just show another slide before we continue with Aji. Here's some recommendation for you or your client that might need this TISAX assessment. First, make sure yourself familiar with TISAX and its requirement. Please use the TISAX participant handbook, and you may download it in this portal, portal.inx.com. So you can find this information here, how to register, how to apply, how to do the assessment, what we need you prepare before your assessment, you can find here. And then find agreement with your key customer or OEM, which means if you're required by the OEM, please ask them first what would be the assessment level you might need. And then here, the scope, the location, which location you have, and the assessment level, that's what I just explained. And then the timeline, when will you need this TISAX label available? After that, you have to register at ISMS to receive the participant ID and scope ID, and also the TISAX scope excerpt. I have mentioned this before. The TISAX scope excerpt is like approval from ISMS that you may go ahead with this TISAX. It will contain the participant ID and also scope ID. And then develop and implement more benefit if you apply. Apply a consultant if necessary. If you need consultant, please, you can do with consultant. TISAX use control from ISO 27000, but it's not an 27000 certification. So please do not wrong with this. It's not 27,000 certification, but it's TISAX control. So there are controls, and you may see, and then you may need a consultant. Please go ahead, because it is one of the role that can be available in TISAX. And undertake a thorough assessment as well as the supportive document. Find an agreement with your key customer. Select the XAP fitting best to your requirement. Provide self-declaration and document in advance to reduce costly time on both sides. Okay, I think that's recommendation for the auditee. Okay, you can go ahead, Haji.
Okay. Okay. Sorry for the inconvenience. I will continue again the next question. This is Mr. Roni, have you been answered the question regarding the which doing the R&D to test the prototype only, or also applicable for vehicle contract assembly?
Okay, so it's from Mr. Iswan, right?
Mr. Yes, Mr. Iswan.
Okay, I will read again. Testing of
Mr.
Is this applicable for the organization which doing the R&D to test the prototype only, or also applicable for vehicle contract assembly? So like I have mentioned before, TISAX actually is derived from our partner. So if your partner asking to have the TISAX label, you can go with it. As long as they don't ask, it's fine. So which is we don't have to go with TISAX label. But if it's can be like, okay, it might be in the future we will have customer that will ask TISAX. Okay, you can go ahead. But how? Because the partner is not yet require us for TISAX. You can just take the highest level of the assessment, just in case they come in the near future and ask for the TISAX label. So which scope you have to take, which scope you have to to apply, like the objective, you can try to the prototype one. There is a prototype. I will show you again. Hold on a second. About the objective. Okay, here. Let me screen my screen again, my share screen again. Hope you can see it. Okay, regarding to the R&D one, to test the prototype, you may need this one. It's possible the 7th one or the 6th one, protection of prototype vehicles, which means just in case next time you will get the partner who require you, you already prepared. That would be the answer for this. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Roni, for your answer. Hope the question from Mr. Rizwan is answered properly. I have asked Mr. Rizwan to unmute himself if to confirm just the question is already answered enough. If we can go to the next questions. The next question is coming from Jeslow. The certification cycle is 3 years. Is there any surveillance audit every year, like other ISO scheme, or just one audit for renewal in every 3 years?
Okay, thank you, Jesse. So this TISAX label is only apply per 3 years. So which is there will no annual surveillance. So after 3 years, you have this TISAX label, they need to renew your labels. So it's not like another scheme or another management system. You just have to do it once per 3 years. That's all. That's for this TISAX assessment.
Yeah, thank you, Ronnie.
Okay,
you're welcome.
Thank you. So we are going to the next questions. It is again coming from Mr. Izwan from Simon Darby. The first question is this ISA, which Mr. Ronnie is showing with correspondence to Annex A, what makes it different from statement of applicability for ISO 27001? And the second, this criteria for ISA maturity level determination, is it standard or we need to derive by our own?
Okay. So for the first one, it's related to the statement of applicability in ISO 27000. So, okay, maybe we have to a little bit distinguish or differ between this TISAX assessment and ISMS audit or certification. What the TISAX ISA asks or require is they are revert to the ISO 27000. So which means if they only revert, which means not whole of the annexes might need it in there, but some of it or few of them are taken as reference. So we just keep follow this the questionnaire. So what questionnaire need in PDA, just in case they might need, for example, I will share to you. So for a better understanding, excuse me. Okay, this one. Oops. Hold on a second. My second screen is not working. Okay, it's not working now. It's working now. Okay, this is the screen I will share to you. Screen two. Okay. For example, we hope you all can see the screen. Here, this. Okay, here. Annex 7.1.1.1 is the reference in HR. What they need here, to what extent what they require is competent, reliable, and trustworthy employees are a key to information security within the organization. Therefore, it's important to check the suitability of potential employee, example applicants, to an appropriate extent, which means the requirement could be the sensitive workfield position or roles are sensitive because only the role that might process the data or keeping the data will be the sensitive workfield. And then see the second one, requirement for employees regarding their job profile are determined and fulfilled. See? So we have the job profile and let's say the network guy or the IT guy for network. So what are the job profile needed? Okay, they have to have the CCNA or Cisco certified. They have to have knowledge about network, switch, router, and etc. That's what you need to fulfill and identify first. And then identify of potential employees is verified or checking identity documents. Here's what I explained before. We may ask them for like a police clearance, like, okay, you can go to the police and ask for a letter which is you are cleared for any criminal record. That's how that's checking the potential employee is verified. So in 27001, you have created the statement of applicability or SOA, which is to control. If you are not implemented in 27001, you still have to follow in this section, I mean in TISAX assessment label. So please refer only to this question or the questionnaire. The SOA will become handy if you have, because you just put as an evidence what control that you have applied, what control is in place, what a procedure that you have. That's you can revert to your SOA. That's the first one. And the second one, it's about, sorry, Aji, can you repeat the second question?
Yes, sure. The second question is the criteria for ISA maturity level determination.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Is it the standard or we need to derive by our own?
Okay. Actually, it's already standard. That's why I explained before. It's here. If you guys, if you all still see my screen.
Yes.
Yeah, we can see in this worksheet maturity level, it's defined here. What is the incomplete? Means 0, perform, manage, establish, which is they are determined everything there, and we just follow what is our stage now. So you can see here maturity level 4 means that an established process is followed. The effectiveness of process is continually monitored by collecting key feature. Limit values are defined at which process is considered to be insufficiently effective and require adjustment. Key performance indicators. So each of the maturity level are defined in here. You can see in section maturity level. I hope that can answer the question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Pak Roni. Hope the question from Mr. Isman has been answered properly. And then we can continue to the next question. The next question is coming from Mr. Y.H. Chong. Is it possible to share the example of scope for better understanding?
Okay, the scope. Okay, I will try to open one of the example. Actually, it's defined on the hand participant book. Let me share the screen to you. Hold a second, please. TISAX hand participation. Okay, scope. Actually, scope could be like location and the year itself. So here, I hope you can see here. Here, this is the recommendation from ENX. We recommend assigning location name based on your following pattern. So example here, geographical reference, ACME. For example, the organization is ACME. So you can see here, like this, Frankfurt 2019. For a scope with several locations in German city Frankfurt. This one for a scope with all locations in the country Germany 2019. Or like before, there's a question about R&D, prototype development. Is prototype development 2019. This is what has defined in TISAX participant. Yeah. And maybe I can show you one of our clients. Hold a sec. Here's from our client that already done, almost done the TISAX. It's hold on a second, I have to see. Hold a sec, TISAX one, TISAX browser. Oh yeah, this one. It's one of the example. Can you see here? Here, because the client already certified with ISO 27000. Okay, so here the scope name is Information Security Management System for Car Assembly Process. So, like I have explained before, the other question regarding if we have implemented another management system, it's possible because for this is a car assembly process, which is it will be needed or required by the OEM to do the same scope. So here our client put this scope name Information Security Management System for car assembly process. So this is kind of a TISAX scope excerpt. So this is the example. If we have registered in ENX portal, we will get this. So this one will submit to XAP or TUFNORD to get the calculation of the TISAX assessment process. So I hope this can answer the question.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ronnie. So, Mr. Chong, is it already answer your question? Does that the scope that you mean?
You can understand clearer now.
Okay.
Okay. Good. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chong, for your confirmation.
Thank you so much.
And Mr. Ronnie, would you like to go to the next question?
Yes, please.
Okay.
So I have here actually, let me read. Is it required prior to this TISAX? And then is
Okay,
connection to third party part of the assessment of level 2? And then is data protection part of the assessment for L2? Okay, maybe I
Yes,
will just answer one by one, okay? So
yes,
internal
yes,
audit,
sure.
as you are, internal audit required prior to TISAX. Actually, because it's depend on your maturity level of management system, which is if your level is established, your internal audit could have been done, which is it's not required by this TISAX assessment, but because your maturity level shown that you are established or even higher than that, it means you must be done with this internal audit. That's for number one. It's the second one is connection to third party, part of the assessment level 2. For now, as per the new VDA version, it's no longer available for the connection for third party. So which means now you have to be specific with what kind of type that your connection to the third party. So it can be go into the data protection or very high information data protection. Or if you have something, you can just explain to me. And the third one is data protection part of assessment for assessment level 2. Data protection part of assessment for assessment level 2. Okay. I think I already mentioned before. Let me explain again. Data protection. Excuse me. For data protection, it's the same like information with high protection level. So I'll share to you this one. Excuse me. Where's this share screen? Here we go. I can see number 1 for data protection. Number 3, data protection according to GDPR or personal data protection. It's require assessment level 2 if it's not special data. So you can read if it's according to the GDPR and it's a special data that you are store or keep, it will be considered as assessment level 3. So we need to come to your place to check how you secure the place, the server, the location, and security perimeter. The security perimeter that is implemented in your place. That's the regarding the data data protection. And then is data protection of VIN number AL2 or AL3 or standard or special categories? Oh, VIN number. Hold on. Actually, we have to read first in GDPR what kind of data that are included in data protection. Is it special or what? They define or determine there which are the special data, which are not. So vehicle identification number is the car fingerprint. Okay. Hold on. Let me check. Okay. It's mentioned on GDPR. Say that it's on Art 6 Data Protection Directive. They include VIN on the data protection, which is, yeah, you can take the third one here in data protection according to Article 28 European General Data Protection. Hold on a second. It's regarding Article 28. Let me read more. Okay, I will answer this question later, but please, you can find the Article 28 under the GDPR, and you may check what kind of data that must be protected as a normal one or the special one. So hopefully that can be answered the question. The fourth one, the fifth one question, must we be certified in ISMS or ISO 27000 prior to TISAX? I think it's already answered. Once again, ISO 27000 certified, it's not required. It's not prerequisite of this TISAX assessment, but it's come handy if you have implemented the ISMS. So it's not requirement, but it will be good if you have.
My apologies. Basically, I just compiled all the questions which was asked by my colleagues, and it's part of a question for myself. So that's why you will see some repetitive questions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my apologies for that.
No worries, no worries.
It's okay.
I'll just go to the next one. Okay, ISMS scope is already done. For the scope already done. TISAX certification will expire 3 years. Yes, it's already done. Pen test. If the pen test is scheduled, let's say November of every year, but the TISAX certification, it's to be scheduled prior to the pen test. Is that okay? Okay, so let's see what's control are in place. If the control needs you have to run the pen test before do the TISAX, or it will be inside the PDA questionnaire, you have to do. If not, it will be raised as a non-conformity. So as long as you see that there is no annexes as a referrer for that security means by the penetration test, means will not require to do that before or after.
Sorry, the rest of the questions have already been answered previously, but I do have an additional question for the ISMS scope. Is the scope actually
Okay.
determined by our partner or by ourselves?
Actually, the scope itself can be asked to our partner. First, ask them what should be inside the label that they required, and then the scope means how far we have to implement this TISAX, which means the boundaries, where to start, where to stop, which is you may ask the partner first. If you do the TISAX label before any partner do, just define by yourself, means what production that might related to TISAX, which mean are you doing the prototype, are you doing the advertising company, just related to one of that with automotive. And then you may use the highest one, means the assessment level 3, just in case in the future one of the partner will ask you or require you, okay, please have this label. Yeah, that's the answer for that question.
Thanks. It's just that because our partner did say in a broad general manner to have the second level to be certified. So
the second level means
the AL2.
Oh, AL2. Okay.
Yeah,
that's good. So means they are required.
So that's why
ahead.
we were wondering what kind of scope is that, is because it's too general or broad. So is the scope actually defined by them, or do we just look at the self-assessment and then, okay, this is AL2, we just do everything?
Okay. First is you have to ask or have your partner mention that which part of your production that need this label, or whole of your company has to be assessed.
In the broad general way, I think the whole company needs to be assessed, but it is not said by the partner.
Okay. So what kind of company you are? Production part or
car assembly?
What kind of company? Car assembling.
Yes.
Okay. So means, okay, by that means you can go ahead with the same like what we have here. So means from end to end, the car assembly process that might need to be have the TISAX label. I show already once the TISAX excerpt from one of our client. Yeah, you can go ahead with that. Which means the process of the car assembly itself that require the label.
Okay, the whole entire process
might be your scope. Yeah. You can just write your car assembly process, or you might use if you are certified in ISMS, yeah, you can say information security management system in car assembly process.
Okay, thank you.
Will be okay. Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, so there's already answer your question, yeah, Mr. Eric Han. Thank you for Paroni. So we are now already in the end of the event. We would like to say thank you for your participant and for your all questions. Before we close, I would like to convey again that the e-certificate will be sent very soon. So don't forget to fill the participant list from link in the chat column, because after we check, there is only 14 people who has filled the link, and still miss some people who have not filled it. So I am Aji Pramudia, as the host of this event, would like to say massive thank you for the great participation from all of the participants, and also to Mr. Ronnie for being our speaker today. And I represent TÜV Nord itself, would like to apologize if there are any things that are less pleased for you during this event. And sorry for the inconvenience and the misspelling in any company name. And hopefully we all get all the benefit and informative things in this webinar. And also hope we could meet again at the next TÜV Nord or TISAX webinar series or other training and webinar programs in the future. Thank you very much once again, and have a good day ahead. Could be informed, the Zoom room will be closed in 15 minutes. So if you have not filled it, you still have the time to fill it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.